Just the last one, Cora. I think there's got 30 Irish women scheduled to play AFLW next year. I think one of the Mackins from Armagh was one of the most recent names. Is this cutting across the LGFA a lot now, where you're looking at the guts of 30 players? Do the LGFA need to maybe look at structuring their season a little bit different, or what do you think? Is it at a point of serious worry for the LGFA?
I wouldn't say serious worry, but I'd say it's getting there. Now, I've read a couple of things again on social media. I think Maurice Brosnan had something, a lot of these girls didn't play beforehand. Dana Finn going out, he said Aileen Gilroy. And that there's a lot of girls, doing both at the moment. Yeah, and I take his point. There's a lot of girls that are, playing with their county and going back over across. But that's only sustainable for a certain length of time. They're normally girls that are probably only a year or two, or have only decided to go out and then go out. But you see girls that go out and see that they really like the sport and want to get better of it, and their only way of getting better at it is by staying over there. And we've seen that the likes of Niamh Kelly, Grace Kelly, Sarah Rowe, Anya Tighe, Orla O'Dwyer, there's only a few, I could name more. They've all decided not to come back and play into county. Ash Mack in West Coast. So that's 6 or 7 that I've named. And then there's girls, they've come home and played a bit. Vicky Wall went out and done her pre-season a little bit earlier and is now back. That can't happen. That can happen probably for the next season or 2, maybe 3. But the season every year there is going to get longer. The Players Association, they are pushing that AFL women's will be fully professional by 2030, if not earlier. So that means it'll be a full-on competition like the men. So the men play, I think, 22 or 23 rounds at the moment, and 4 or 5 weeks of finals. So they could play up to 27 games, and they get a couple of months off. So that's the way eventually it's going to go. Clubs will demand more of players because they're contracted with them. Some clubs, and Sinead Goldrick's probably the biggest, highest profile that didn't come back and play for Dublin this year. Clubs demand more of them and want them to stay. If you all have an injury, they'll expect you to stay over. They might let you home for a 2-week holiday. So it is going to be a problem. It is draining ladies football. I know you've the likes of the Mackins saying they'll play with Armagh, Ash Maloney, Anna Rose Kennedy, all of these, that's their first year. But in 3 years' time, will they still be playing with Armagh and Tipperary? Unless they've left AFL, they probably won't. So I do think it's going to be a huge drain, and I think it's something the ladies football need to look at now, from the point of view what's going to happen later. Because I can tell you, every day I have a message from someone asking me how they can get out. Whether that girl could be 17, she could be 22, she could be 24. There's a huge demand from players. They see it, that they want to go out there now. So if that's the case, I know the AFL are going to come hard as well, and they're coming hard already, and they want more and more out there. So yeah, it's a worry for me, because if you look even in maybe say next year, the year after, you don't have Vicky Wall, Aisling Maloney, Amy Mackin, Niamh McLaughlin playing. They're all former players of the year, and they're only 4. Is the championship or is ladies football worse off because you don't have your star players playing? I think it is. I think the product won't be as good as it could be with them in it. So I had a conversation with Tom Parsons around this yesterday, and I think it's to me the only answer is integration, getting all the bodies under one. I've spoken about this enough times, and as Tom said to me yesterday, getting a Division 1 ladies final on before Mayo and Mayo and Galway yesterday, get the ladies final on before it, or whatever it might be. You have in the news, you have all these girls going on into Australia, and at the same time you've Cavan ladies who are on strike because they're not receiving. I think they wanted €30 car journey down from Dublin.
Oh, it's so basic, Cora. It's the most basic of basic requirements.
Why would you expect it, girl? Why would you stay around for that when you're not being looked after? And it's not even looked after. They're simple things, whether you're looking for a couple of euro expenses because you're a student and you're in college and you can't afford to come down, or whether you're looking for good facilities or whatever it might be, and you go to Australia, you have all them on hand every day of the week. The resources over there are amazing facilities. And then you're getting paid in the top of it, but also you're young and free, and you're 22 and 23, and you're the other side of the world in beautiful weather. So it is a worry for me. I know people are saying, oh, that some of these girls haven't played and this and that, but I spoke about this probably 4 or 5 years ago. The numbers would probably at about 50 now and higher if COVID didn't strike for 2 years, because in them 2 years Irish couldn't get out, they couldn't recruit any Irish, so that stopped the numbers increasing. That numbers would be a lot higher now only for COVID. So it is a worry for me. I think ladies football need to look at something dramatically, quickly, and see can they try and stop it in some regard. But it's going to be a hard thing, but it's something that they need to look at. And as I said, I know coming into the future, the AFL are I've talked to the head of the AFL, the women's, Nicole Livingston, and they love their Irish players out there, and they want to see more and more of them come.
Okay.